October 1st. That's today. Overwatch 2 patch notes. Stadium updates. Stadium competitive updates fix an issue where players near their predicted rank started to gain extremely low stadium points. Well, that's interesting. So that's good. We have adjusted the stadium rank distribution curve to make it easier to reach elite rank for most players. Okay, interesting. We have made adjustments to reduce the amount of stadium points lost when players lose a match, as each round one now provides a greater reduction in the overall point loss. Interesting. So if you lose 3-0 or 0-3, if you lose 0-3 or 0-4, I guess you lose more rank points then. But if you lose 3-4, then you probably aren't going to lose many points at all. That's interesting. But I feel like the game is so snowbally, so I feel like that just doesn't really make a lot of sense. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like that. The game just feels way too snowbally. I feel like a lot of my games are we win 4-0 or we lose 0-4. Like, I feel like that's a lot of games. We have made adjustments to the maximum minimum amount of stadium points that can be won or lost from a competitive match. Okay, interesting. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Freya. Freya has had the lowest win rate in Stadium for an extended period of time. So, wow, really? So we're adding some more consistency to her builds to make her more competitive amongst the DPS roster. We're aware she has a very high damage ceiling in the right hand, so these changes are aiming at helping her consistency, but not raise her damage ceiling or one-shot capabilities. Well, that's good. Hopefully that's good. Hopefully this works. Because yeah, Freya is a complete menace in the hands of a top-notch player. So I don't know. I don't play Freya, so I don't really know her very well. I don't know what all these things are. So, but we'll take a quick look. Power. It's one of her powers. I don't know which one that is. Increased effectiveness to 30% reduced effectiveness, up from 40% reduced effectiveness. I'm not sure I understand that. Increased effectiveness to 30% reduced effectiveness. Yeah, I would have to look at the power to know what that means. I guess I can check that real quick. We are in the training room, so let me pull up Freya real quick. Let me see if I can switch back to Overwatch. Cool. All right, so I'm looking at Freya now. So which one was it? It's this one. So after using updraft, your next take aim while airborne instead fires a mini bulla shot that no longer pulls and has 30% reduced effectiveness. Oh, okay, I see. So that is a buff. The way they word it is a little weird. They're saying it's increased to 30% up from 40%. So that just sounds kind of weird when you first read that. But that is a buff because... so I think the better way to word that would be increased effectiveness to 70% effectiveness up from 60% effectiveness. I guess that's kind of a different way to word it, but maybe that's confusing too. I don't know. So yeah, so basically it should do more damage. It's a 10% increase in damage. So it's not nothing. Is that gonna be enough? I don't know. I don't play Freya enough. I will say that I've played her a couple of times, and I usually try to go the AP bullet shot route. So I do pick that power up. And I've tried that before. I've tried this power before. But yeah, it definitely felt underwhelming. It did not feel like it was doing a ton of damage. So yeah, it's a good thing they're buffing that up, I think. It's gonna be annoying though. I hate playing against Freya, so I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more Freyas soon. We'll probably see a lot more Freyas today. It's gonna be annoying. Let's go back to the patch notes quick. There we go. And all right, so next one is the seismic shot power. Increased explosion radius increased to 50% up from 33%. Okay, that seems like a pretty big buff there. So let's go back again. I guess we're just gonna go back and forth here quite a bit. And let's take a look at the seismic shot power. This one, seismic shot power. Take aim, explosion radius is increased by 50%. Double this if the bolt is stuck to a target. So if your opponents are playing very deathball-y, very close together, this will have a very good chance of doing splash damage to everybody. Let's test that real quick. I am curious how big of an AoE that is. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not too familiar with Freya, so... Okay. I mean, I hit both of them. Let's see if we just do this. Oh, it still hits both of them, so...
I always give my mark.
Maybe if we launch it on this side. Let's see if that hits now. Okay. So if we launch it on the left side there, it doesn't hit. Ooh, okay. So that's a considerable radius. Yeah. Not too shabby. Yeah, I probably won't be using that anytime soon, but that's cool. That's a little scary though. And I guess like it's only going to be good against people who are really grouping up tightly. If your whole team's spread out enough, you won't have to worry about this. So I guess it's not that big a deal, I don't think. Should be able to play around that pretty effectively, I would say. All right, so let's go back here. What's the next one here? Another power, Forager. Increased max life heal per shot to 5% up from 4%. I think I remember what that is. Let's double check here. Let's go back, Forager. Where is that? This one. For 2 seconds after using Quick Dash, the Rev Draw crossbow hits heal you for 5% of your max life. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's not like a significant crazy buff. I don't think that should be fine. But yeah, I would like to try that. That'd be interesting. I can't see that being like overpowered or anything like that. I still feel like that wouldn't be like all that insanely good or anything, but can't see that being bad either. So might not be too shabby. That'd be cool. I wouldn't mind testing that out. Let's look at the next one. Next one is Deep Pockets. Ammo restore on ability use increased to 40% up from 25%. Wow, that sounds crazy. That sounds pretty good. That sounds cool. I like that. So that's this one. Deep Pockets. See, I was just testing out the Deep Pockets there. And with Deep Pockets and with this Tracer Tag, Stockpile, Commander's Clip, and Hard Light Accelerator is all you need. And you could get this by round 3 probably, latest round 4. So that's not too shabby there. And you can pretty much have infinite ammo here. As you start to get low, you just pop your abilities there. And you just keep shooting for a really long time. It's crazy. It's almost infinite. You do eventually run out. But that's more than enough, so that's pretty crazy. All right, so let's go back to the patch notes then real quick here. Where were we? Bali Adu. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but that power here increased damage on additional bolts to 50% reduced, up from 66% reduced. Okay, there's another one of those weird wordings there. So let's take a look at that in game here. There we go. Swapped it over this time. Volley Adu. Every 5th Rev Draw crossbow shot fires an additional 2 bolts in a spread that deal 50% reduced damage. So that was, what was it again? It was 66% reduced. Now it's 50% reduced. So I remember testing this one, and I don't think I'm a fan of this. Yeah, that doesn't look great to me. I mean, if you're barrel stuffing a guy, like, you'll get an extra hit on somebody. Let's pull up Reinhardt here. So, you know, if you're pretty close to Reinhardt here, see, look at that, I'm still missing him. Even at that range. There we go. So I have to be pretty darn close to get the extra damage on him. So, not terrible, but I can't see this being all that effective, you know? You gotta be close in order to get that all onto your target. So you basically go...
Never stood a chance.
how much damage you do. Yeah, so I mean, if you barrel stuff somebody, you're doing double damage with that shot. Makes sense. That makes sense. But is it that good? I don't really think so. If you're desperate for a little extra damage, it's not terrible, but it's just not all that great, I don't think. So yeah, I think I'll work on making a build for Freya and test her out. Quick play, that'll be interesting. But yeah, let's finish up the patch notes here, see what else they got. All right, so next up is Tracer. Tracer has been performing well across the board. We're making it a bit harder for her to reach high amounts of health to make sure there is still risk involved in her engagements. We're also hitting some of her weapon-focused powers with a few buffs to her other builds. We'll be continuing to keep a very close eye on Tracer, as we know she has a very strong relationship with Stadium's stat increases. And that's interesting. Like, I see people doing really well with Tracer. I personally have never really had a problem with Tracer. There's been a few games here and there where I go up against someone who seems to be cracked out of their mind, or maybe they're potentially cheating with Tracer. So there's been a few games. It's pretty rare though, honestly. But even when I don't struggle, my teammates always seem to struggle. And so like, I don't really get it. I don't understand, because to me, I feel like it should be easy to deal with Tracer. You just get tanky. That's all you gotta do, is get a couple of armor items, maybe even just one armor item. Might be all you need. And then play with your team, stay together. And as long as your supports are healing and everybody's got armor, I honestly don't even think Tracer can kill anybody. And there's been plenty of games that I've had where I've tried to play Tracer and try to kill people on the other team, and I literally can't do damage to them. Unless I put an entire clip into their head, I can't hardly do any damage to them. If I put an entire clip into their body, it does almost nothing. Because they have their supports healing them, they have armor. Even if I get Code Breaker, it's still not enough. So yeah, I just don't understand why Tracer seems to be such a big problem, but maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know. She is annoying and very hard to kill, sometimes like almost impossible to kill. So yeah, that is a bit of an annoyance, a nuisance, you know, but I don't know. So yeah, let's see what else they say here. So Chrono Crux Stadium passive now gains 35% less health, armor, and shields from items and cash. Previously 25% less. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know how this works actually. The Chrono Crux. I'm not sure how that works for every hero and whatnot, but now she's going to gain less health. So that's good. She'll be more squishy. I am perfectly fine with Tracer just being nerfed. She's one of those heroes that I think is too big of a problem if she's too good. Yeah, she's just too big of a problem if she's too good. She ends up just completely dominating the entire game, I feel like. So she's just got too much mobility. It's really hard to balance a hero like that. He's just got so much mobility. If you make them too strong, then they just become unstoppable. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Tracer, honestly. Alternate ending power. Healing increased to 100% of damage taken, up from 75%. I'm gonna have to look at that quick. Blanking on what that is. I've played a decent amount with Tracer now. She is fun to play, but I think she can be a problem. But yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head what these powers are, so let's take a look at the powers here. Which one was it? Alternate ending. Oh, this one. Use recall heal allies within 6 meters for 100% of the damage they have taken in the last 3 seconds. So this is getting a buff. So it's weird. I don't understand this one. This is like playing if you want to play a support Tracer, which just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I could see it being good, but I don't know why you would want to play a DPS as a support, especially Tracer as a support. It just doesn't make sense to me. So whatever. I think that's a whatever, because I don't think a lot of people are going to use that still. Blink of an eye. I remember this one. Cooldown reduction reduced to 0.04 seconds, down from 0.05 seconds. So that sounds like a buff. Not sure why they would buff that. Let's double check it here. Blink of an eye. Critical hits reduce the cooldown of blink. Oh, okay. Reduces the cooldown of blink by 0.04 instead of 0.05. So that is a nerf then, actually. That's actually a nerf. Okay. Not much, though. That doesn't seem like much of a nerf, but that's fine. I'm fine with that. I don't think that's too overpowered or problematic or anything like that. So, yeah, I think we're fine there. Foresight. Power. Auto aim reduced to 4 shots, down from 6. Wow. I feel like this is not that good of a power. I don't understand. I'm so surprised by that. Like, let's test that out. So it's 4 shots now instead of 6. Let's see if I can do 4 shots here. That's 4 shots. I mean, is that even like 50 damage? That's 2 more shots. That's what it used to be. Like, I don't get it. How's that overpowered? They're nerfing that. Like, I don't really care, but why does everybody think this power is so good? I don't understand. I've been seeing a lot of people use this power, and they act like it's OP. How's that OP? Am I crazy? Whoa. Look at all that damage. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I don't really care. Whoop-de freaking do. She's got 4 bullets that auto-lock. Like, sorry, you're gonna need more than 4 bullets to kill somebody. I mean, you might be able to, you know, use that to finish somebody off, but I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. All right, let's see what else we got here. Temporal, or temportal. Increased the portal's duration to 8 seconds up from 6 seconds. So I think that's the one that teammates can jump through. Let's take a look at that quick. Leaves behind a portal, and ally can interact with it, travel back in time 3 seconds. Okay. So that'll last for 8 seconds. Yeah, again, that's for like trying to play some kind of support tracer, which I don't understand why anybody would do that. I can see it working. I can see it being good. I can't really see that being overpowered, really, or anything. So, again, whatever. I don't care. And then finally, Chrono Bomb. Epic ability hero item. Increased ability power to 20%, up from 15%. That's decent. And increased cost to 10,500. So increased the cost by 500 and added an extra 5%. So that is a very good cost ratio. Very cost-efficient item it should be. Let's see. Go back here. It should be a good cost-efficient item here. Chrono Bomb. 20% ability power, 50% explosion radius. Enemies stuck or hit by pulse bomb are slowed by 30% and lose 30% bonus attack speed for 2 seconds. So that's pretty good. It's cheap. It's a lot of ability power. Gives you a nice little bonus effect. I do like Tracer's ability power build. I think it's pretty good. Brigitte. Brigitte's damage buff to shield bash in the core game in the mid-season proved to be a large unintended, I don't know why I can't say that, damage buff for Scold casting, and it has been overperforming. We're bringing down the bonus damage to be more in line with her other powers to ensure variety in her build paths. So Scold casting power, shield boomerang damage reduced to 40% of shield bash damage, down from 60%. Wow. This is something that I haven't really used much. I didn't know that was supposedly good. Guess let's try that. Let's test that out quick. I feel like I don't see people using that very often, but I feel like I would prefer to build her as a support rather than building for damage. So this one. After bashing, your next rocket flail swing projects a shield boomerang that deals 40% shield bash damage. Okay, let's try without that then. So we do almost 3 bars there, and then if we do that, we're doing like 4.5 there.
I've got this.
So now if we get the power, same damage there. Ooh, dang. Okay, that is actually a decent amount.
And that's what I
It's not too bad. But yeah, I mean, I would still prefer building her personally as just a pure support, so, or like a tanky support. That's kind of how I prefer building her and playing her. So, yeah, I'm surprised. I never really had a problem with that. I don't think. Haven't really seen too many people use that, but that's fine by me. And then Armory. So I guess it was just Codebreaker. Cost increased to 10,000 up from 9,000. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, Codebreaker is a good item, but it's honestly only good for certain heroes. Okay, so Stadium, here we go. Moira fix an issue where Moira's power, optimal overflow, spawned biotic orbs without reduced duration. Interesting. Okay, I didn't know that was an issue. Farah fix an issue where Farah's triple volley rockets dealt more damage than intended. Oh, interesting. I feel like I might have run into that a couple of times. I don't really play Farah, but yeah, there were a couple times where I ran into a Farah and it seemed like they were doing more damage than I thought they should be. And then Reinhardt fixed an issue where Reinhardt's power shield stampede caused camera to not lock in place during charge. Oh, that would be interesting. Never saw that though. Fix an issue where Soldier 76's power peripheral pulse didn't deal reduced damage to additional targets during pack visor. Wow, I didn't know that was a problem either. Dang. Well, that's a good fix. Man. Wow. All right, so there you have it. That is all the patch notes. Seems fine. Pretty minor for the most part, I'd say. So yeah. I think it's pretty good overall, but it's minor, so I don't think that'll make too big a difference.